the next topic that we're going to talk about here is Forza Horizons, guys. It's Forza Horizon. We got to talk about Forza Horizons. I am not happy about Forza Horizons, and well, let's get started, guys. Let's talk about Forza Horizons because if you guys know this channel a little bit, you know, yo 07, how are you doing? If you guys know this channel for quite some time, you know that I used to play this game for quite some time. Unfortunately, I haven't played this. I think the last time I played Forza Horizon was like last September or something like that, and since then I completely uninstalled it from my computer. So a big disappointment for me. A big like I loved it when it was released, and it gradually. Gradually felt like this was actually not my kind of my cup of tea. And so we're going to talk about it right here. Let's have a look first at the trailer here. I've got three stuff here. I've got the trailer, I've got the trailer of the first DLC, and the trailer of the last DLC, which I'm not going to show you right now. We're going to have to wait a little bit. First, let's have a look at this trailer right here. Although actually I cannot play the audio because it has some licensed music. I'll be in trouble, so I'll just be talking about it, and we can talk about all those graphics. The problem with Forza Rap Space is that cars don't fly. Absolutely, you're right, they don't fly. But the thing with Forza Horizon, and at the beginning when I saw the trailers, I was like, wow, this is looking so realistic, and this is what I like to see, guys. I like my games to be believable. I like my games to feel like I'm actually right there in that universe that I'm getting into when I start the software. And when I'm seeing those graphics here with those very exotic cars in those British environments, it makes me believe that I'm actually in England and in Scotland, and that is what really attracted me into this universe, into this map, which is about 16 kilometers square. So it's actually big and not big at the same time, because when you have cars that go at 300, 400 kilometers per hour, then you can get from one extremity to another pretty quickly. Of course, there's a ton of things to do in this game. We're talking about street racing, dirt racing, rally, vintage cars, things like that. Time trials. So that anything you name, you have hundreds of different cars available, and just those landscapes. What I also thought was fantastic was those 4 different seasons that were available as well. You really have a clear, distinct spring, summer, fall, and winter at the same time. Most of the environment is also destructible, so it's really an awesome game if you make it a little bit believable and a little bit realistic. And this is where I'm having a problem with Forza Horizon, is that the more the devs were working on it, the more extra content were being added, the more activities we were given, the less believable it was getting, and the cheesiest it was getting. And this is what I didn't like. I guess I'm getting too old for this. Maybe if I were 15, I would have thought that this would have been quite okay and fun, but I'm not. I'm in my mid-30s, guys. You probably can tell. And I just want to be able to drive nice cars in a nice environment and race them and have some fun, while at the same time having proper immersion. And unfortunately, this is something that started to slowly but surely fade away. And next, I'm going to show you the next DLC here, which is called Fortune Island official of Fortune Island. So Fortune Island is a fictional island. So this is where already I'm having some issues here. It's not a representation of an actual island that exists like in the original map, where you have some of the highlands, you've got you've got a representation of Edinburgh and some of the English countryside. This Fortune Island here is a total fictional island. I mean, if you look at this, maybe it looks a little bit like Act 2 from Star Wars, I would guess, right? But all that crazy weather, all of those crazy environments here don't make it realistic at all to me. And this already, I don't like. I'm not a big fan of fantasy, and this made me feel like already, I'm not digging this. I'm not digging this. So, and of course, I bought the Ultimate Edition, which included all of the DLCs. So that was a mistake because I would have never bought a DLC like this, and there was lots of them. And this is where it's really unfortunate because there were a lot of potential with those DLCs because you could say, oh wow, there's a bridge there that goes to this place. Maybe they're going to expand the map that way, or maybe we'll be able to drive south to London. Maybe we'll have an expansion of the highway. There was so much to do. Potentially, but no, they decided to go lazy, have this stupid little island on the side where you have those crazy weather. Again, the idea is to really make those teenage boys say, "Oh wow, this is so cool," instead of having this sense of really escapism and the pleasure of driving those exotic cars in exotic environments. No, they didn't do that. They wanted to have those crazy races with crazy environments for the adrenaline junkies, and that was not my stuff, right? Re-release Forza with a new MS Flight Simulator engine. Oh yes, I would love to. Can you imagine if we have like a Forza something with the actual entire planet of planet Earth from the flight simulator? That would be awesome, right? Absolutely. And this is what I was imagining, when we were talking about Forza Horizons. I was hoping that the license would eventually get towards that destination. Take your car, and it doesn't need to be a McLaren Senna. You could take a Peugeot 205, for example, which is in the game, or Renault Clio. Just take a Renault Clio, and drive from point A to point B. Maybe you can be like some kind of Uber driver and take passengers, take a van and do deliveries. That's what I want to do in a driving game. Racing is fun, but I don't want to do just race. I want to drive a little bit seriously and enjoy those landscapes and really feel like I'm driving this car that I'm never going to buy in real life, and then do something with it. And this is not the direction that they decided to take, and I think that's really too bad. So we've seen the DLC number 1. Now I'm gonna show you DLC number 2, and this is where you have the title of this, the thumbnail of. This is where you have the thumbnail of this video here. You are not dreaming. Forza Horizon 4 Lego Speed Champions. I was like, Lego. Oh my gosh, So let's have a look at this here. We're back in the same map, but with the McLaren and everything. And now let's look at that. We're having Lego blocks. What is this? And this is completely ruining my immersion. And what is that? That is the Lego version of the McLaren Senna. And this is where I have a big problem. And I wish I could have my money back, because if I had wanted to have a Lego game, I would have bought a Lego game. I would not have bought Forza Horizon 4. This is not what I paid for. And I am extremely disappointed by Microsoft here and the developer. Whoever had that idea is the stupidest idea ever for a racing game that had some sense of immersion, that had awesome photorealistic graphics, and we are getting those Legos instead. This is one of the most ridiculous things that I have ever seen, and I think that this is a shame. Shame on you here, Microsoft, for giving a go to this DLC that is basically that is basically ruining every hour that we have spent in the game, building our games for what? For Lego? Seriously? As I said, I am really displeased with the direction that they have taken with their franchise. I am not gonna buy any Forza game ever again unless they make it right, as Rapspace here. As Rapspace said, unless they are using the Microsoft Flight Simulator engine and we can drive throughout the entire Earth, okay, maybe here I'm going to reconsider. But until then, I am done with the Forza Horizon and even the Forza as a whole franchise. A little bit of a rant here, guys, but I think that it was much needed. I had to say it, and this is the reason why you are not seeing any Forza Horizon content ever again on this channel. That's it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching if you were able to bear my rant, and I'll see you guys later for more videos. This is the Eradicator. I'm signing out.